Do a roll call.
Yes, Steve Hernandez,
Present.
Grant Ritter, Paul Philpott, Paul Lombardo,
Here.
and Matthew Brackman. Mr. Chair, we don't have a quorum to take any actions on the action items, but we can still continue with the meeting. I believe Dr. Ritter may be joining us a little bit later. Also, I would like to thank you. I would like to let everybody know that it is requested that participants introduce themselves every time they speak. Roll call, if the quorum is achieved, will be taken for every action item. And the meeting is being recorded for the minute-taking purposes, as well as for posting of the recording on the agency's website. And this meeting line is for the committee members only, presenters, and the AHCT staff only. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Marcin. And on that note, if the staff could please introduce themselves on the call.
Good afternoon, James Michelle, Access Health Connecticut.
Gina
Susan?
Walsh. Oh. Hi, Gina Walsh.
Susan Ridge. Oh, sorry, Gina.
Okay. Gina Walsh, Director of Operations, Access Health.
Rebecca McClear, Director of Technical Operations for Access Health.
Susan Ridge By, Director of Legal and Governmental Affairs for Access Health.
Caroline Ruette, Director of Marketing at Access Health CT.
Good morning, Glenn. Good afternoon, Glenn Jurgen, Director of Human Resources, Access Health Connecticut.
Good afternoon, Tammy Hendricks, Director of Health Equity and Outreach, Access Health Connecticut.
Greetings, Janelle Maloney, Director of Information Technology.
Good afternoon, Katie Hearn, Associate Director of the EPMO.
Mr. Chairman, I believe this concludes the staff announcements.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, James. And I don't understand, Marcin, that there was no public comment for today's meeting.
That's correct, Mr. Chair. And
Great,
we'll have to pass by the vote for the minutes until we achieve the quorum.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Thank you. And so that, if we may, we'll pass on that for now. We'll put it at toward the end of the agenda, or at least until we, if and when we do achieve the quorum. Just thank you to all of the staff for all of the great work that you do. And James, if I may, please pass the baton to you for a conversation on the 5 to 10 year strategy development.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Quick update on the 5 to 10 year strategy. We are continuing to develop this strategy, refining it. We are with the intent of bringing it back to the committee in a refined level at the October or November meeting of this committee. Again, nothing has changed since we last met. Although I do want to one quick adjustment that will be happening is that after this past session's budget session and looking at the dwindling revenue base on our small businesses, Charlie and I had a conversation about creating what we are calling a sustainability committee. So more to come on that, where Charlie will be appointing members of the board to work with the members of the SLT to come up with possible new revenue streams going forward to support our operational costs as well as ongoing costs, expansions, growth that we need to do. And more than likely, whatever we do will be part of the subsidiary as we move forward. So more to come on that. But as it stands now, we have not made any major changes to the 5 to 10 year strategy other than what I just mentioned with respect. And again, this developed back in June, and we're still discussing it at the October, November board meeting. Charlie will name the members of this ad hoc committee that's going to be working with the staff to come up with new revenue streams for Access Health going forward. And my sense is we have a 3 to 5 year window to develop this revenue stream and start producing resources before things really start drying up from the assessments.
James, this is very thoughtful. Fiscal independence and self-determination as an exchange, I think was one of the founding principles of the exchange, and being able to continue to serve communities in as many ways as we can, in addition to providing affordable and accessible health insurance, is a hallmark of what we do. So I think it's very thoughtful to continue to think deeply about how we can maintain that impact through that type of independence that you described. So thank you for that, James.
Thank you much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Great, and I think now we're moving on to hear about new initiatives.
Yes.
James, that's James. Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm sorry, say that again, Martin?
That's for you, James. To describe the 10 clicks or less for sustainability committee.
Yes. So one of the areas that we are also focusing on, I think I may have mentioned it before at the last board meeting, we are developing a strategy, and we are calling it 10 clicks or less. As all of you know, we are still using the exact same system that was developed over 10 years ago. So at the core of our system is still the same. So basically, when you go to Access Health to try to apply for health insurance, it requires you to put in a whole bunch of information, same way that we did 10 years ago. And just imagine how you shop now compared to 10 years ago online, and how much more efficient, how much more effective it has become. We have not done that simply because we've been focused on not doing a lot on everything but our technology. We have updated our technology, but we've done it on the periphery. This basically making the website look nicer. We keep making it more secure as needed. However, in terms of making it more efficient for our applicants or returning applicants to apply or renew it's still the same process. And we know it's very discouraging to a lot of our applicants. And a lot of time, many they just stop in the middle because it's just too long. So the 10 Clicks project is how do we, again, this is one of our goals to how do we get an application process on average completed by 10 clicks or less. So again, this is a technology upgrade. Whether we take what we have in place now and develop it so it becomes more efficient, more effective, or do we look at a whole new approach? Something that's already in the clouds. But the point here, we're going to look at every avenue possible to make it as easy as possible for people to enroll and purchase health insurance through Access Health. We think that's going to help increase the amount of enrollees we have, because it's easier and faster. We also think this will help to address health disparities as more people have access to health insurance, because it's easier and faster for them to apply. We also think in the long run, it may reduce our costs as well. So I just want to make Steve, you and the committee be made aware that we are developing the strategy around that. Once we have it all, once you have the framework in place, we will come back to the committee and update you on what it looks like going forward, and also how much money it may cost to implement it, and also more importantly, the benefit, how this is going to benefit our current customers as well as new customers. And this will impact not just Access Health, not just QHP, but also Medicaid. Because as far as we are concerned, Medicaid and QHP, we do not differentiate between the two. when they are applying for health insurance. So
Thank you,
again,
James. Such a critical set of investments, and it's, you know, sometimes you have to invest in order to reap a return on that investment. And when it comes to when your bread and butter is actually service to our customers, and you're investing in the infrastructures that make that more efficient and more readily available, that's part of a growth strategy. So thank you for that.
Thank you. But so more to come on that as we move forward. Okay, I think Katie
And
Hearn
next
is
time
going to
we'll-
get yes. Katie?
Katie, I
Katie,
think
you're
you're on
muted.
mute.
I am indeed. Thank you. I'm Katie Hearn. I'm the Associate Director of the EPMO. I do have some open enrollment readiness updates for you today. So this year for Open Enrollment 11, we will have 2 project managers from the EPMO managing our open enrollment activities. One will primarily be responsible for managing operations activities, and the other will primarily be responsible for working closely with our IT, technical operations and analytics departments and IT vendors. Because as you know, this is the first open enrollment in which Infosys will be taking over the maintenance and operations of the HICS system from Deloitte. However, Deloitte will continue to be responsible for any HICS system releases. That's a big change for us, this OE, and there are a lot of moving parts with this change, as you can imagine. We're monitoring it very closely as Infosys increasingly takes on all of the activities that Deloitte used to do. Also, this will be the first open enrollment that we will have our standalone dental enrollments auto-renew in the HICS system. You know that we saw significant individual dental plan enrollment increases when we integrated the dental plans into the HICS system platform. So we expect that the dental auto renewals in HICS will be helpful with enrollee retention. So we're excited about that. And we have another change coming in an upcoming release. That is, we will be getting data from the US Postal Service's National Change of Address service. And that will help us to reduce the volume of returned mail, as we will be able to locate addresses for those households that have recently moved and who have that information registered with the post office. Next slide, please. An update from the marketing department. The marketing department has had research conducted with 6 focus groups, and they are in the process of analyzing and incorporating feedback from the customer focus groups into our overall marketing strategy. Those groups included the uninsured, the underinsured, both subsidized and unsubsidized customers, and Spanish language customers from the Hartford and Fairfield metro areas. Marketing is also developing and updating informative collateral to share with our health equity and outreach department, our community partners, and the residents of Connecticut. Marketing is updating our website with fresh content at accesshealthct.com, including new blog content and new toolkits. Also, our advertising campaign and the media plan are in the process of being developed. Ads will be placed on TV and radio, in print, on digital platforms, including social media, and out of home, such as on billboards and in public transit areas. Next slide, please. And we have virtual healthy chats ongoing. There's one on September 20th and one scheduled for October 18th. We also have community partner Zoom meetings the first Thursday of every month. That those give certified application counselors an opportunity to learn and ask questions. So those are really great. And as usual, we have a lot of in-person help this OE. We have 20 enrollment fairs throughout the state. We have help from our navigator organizations in the New Haven, Hartford, and Bridgeport areas. And we also have standing enrollment locations for ongoing assistance available during open enrollment at both the East Hartford and Stanford Public Libraries. Thank you.
Shall we continue on?
Thank you.
Martin?
Oh, yes, please, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Caroline Ruette, the Director of Marketing here at Access Health CT. I will be providing an update on Medicaid unwinding this afternoon, and I do speak on behalf of several of my colleagues here just to consolidate the presentation, but we do have our directors from legal and the other departments to answer any questions if we need to. So heading right in terms of our policy update, we want to inform you that the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services are asking all states to use every tool available to us in the unwinding process to ensure that customers are not terminated if they are eligible. We are doing that, and states are also required to evaluate our systems to ensure that the ex parte or the automated renewal process and redeterminations are compliant. So you may have heard a little about that. We want to ensure you that that is a heavy area of our focus and we are in compliance. Moving on here from a technical operations and analytics perspective, we want to give you an update here on some numbers. All this data is accurate as of August 31st. In terms of covered Connecticut, there are a little over 2,300 folks enrolled with that benefit, and there are about 5,600 individuals enrolled in a qualified health plan without the covered Connecticut benefit. We're seeing almost 135,000 individuals re-enrolled in Medicaid and CHIP. So all those predictions right about most folks being able to be re-enrolled is what we're seeing here. And then again, almost 10,000 individuals have indicated that they are either not requesting or are receiving health insurance elsewhere. So that was another prediction that we saw that is coming to fruition here. Some more numbers from our operations department in terms of how we're connecting with our consumers throughout this process. Our call center is ramping up for open enrollment, right? Because we're going to see heavy volume, not only from unwinding that will continue, but also for OE. In terms of our statistics, the call center handled just over 405,000 calls April 1st through August 31st, and that is a 36% increase from last year. So we are seeing that call volume go up, and the average wait time for folks from the Medicaid unwinding population has been just under 2 minutes. Please advance the slide. In terms of our outreach, we are conducting regularly monthly meetings, and these are for a variety of stakeholder groups. Consumers are open to join us for healthy chats. These are a series of online opportunities to learn more about enrolling or what's new at Access Health, including health and dental options, as well as our financial help offerings that are unique to us as an exchange. We also connect regularly and monthly with our community partners and certified application counselors. This is on a community partners chat, as well as an opportunity to connect with other partners, including those CACs, and how they work together to help our clients get coverage. There's enrollment staff also present at several navigator locations and community partner organizations. This is really important, right? Because we need people at these trusted organizations to help offer that enrollment support. And so we are there. And then there's also a variety of Medicaid unwinding enrollment fairs. So there's some jargon here, right? Enrollment fairs, these are the one-time events that we typically do on weekends or evenings. And there was one that recently passed in Willimantic, and we've got one coming up next week in Vernon, and then 2 in October, 1 in Litchfield and 1 in New Britain. So that's a great opportunity. And from a marketing perspective, to close it out, we are continuing to offer support for our friends in outreach. So what this looks like right now for Medicaid unwinding are some geo-targeted emails. So wherever we're having those events, like the ones in Willimantic or the upcoming ones in Vernon, Litchfield, and New Britain, we're going into our database and looking at folks that have come in that live in those zip codes and pushing out the opportunity for them to join us in those locations, really making sure that they're aware that we're in their backyard. We're also doing some social media that includes organic, so content that folks see if they follow us on social channels. And then we also support that with paid. So if folks do not follow us on social media, we still appear in their feed. So they're seeing our information. We also do press releases for all these events and community calendar placements to ensure that folks know about the opportunity for that in-person support. Our marketing campaign, that ad campaign, is in market. And I want to call attention to the fact that Access Health CT's unwinding advertising efforts are going to pause the week of October 30th, heading into open enrollment through the week of January 8th, that whole week when our OE campaign is in market. So we don't have competing messages. We will continue to do our direct-to-consumer mail, email, and text messaging through the open enrollment period. Some of our OE creative also has that Medicaid unwinding messaging in there because it's important that folks know about that, even if they are going to be affected by unwinding during the open enrollment period. So pretty high level update from a cross-departmental perspective, and we hope that that is informative. Let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, Marcus, we'll move on to the next slide.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Tammy Hendricks, Director of Health Equity and Outreach. So things continue to move along for the Broker Academy. We've had 21 students pass the state exam so far, and they've been matched up with mentors. We do have 3 students that are in the process of retaking the exam, so hopefully that will increase the total students that have passed. And this year, we've already seen some improvement in terms of retention. So last year, I think we had a retention rate of about 41% with our students, and this year we're up to 52%. And, you know, we really worked hard after year 1 to kind of figure out what areas of the program needed improvement. And I think that increase in retention is showing that effort. We have 7 mentor agencies for the program this year. Most of them were a part of the program last year. And so right now the students have transitioned to our internal broker support team, John's team, and they've been doing a really great job of keeping up with the students, keeping them connected on a weekly basis through calls, and also keeping track with the mentors as well. Right now, we are also working on the graduation for the students, which will be held October 21st in Middletown. This location happened to work out really well last year, so we're returning there again. And it's really just a great opportunity to have all the students come together in one room to celebrate this huge achievement, but also an opportunity for Access Health staff to engage with them if they haven't done so already. And so as you all know, OE is fast approaching. We have a lot of fairs coming up. Outreach is really out there in a lot of areas, different areas, and the Broker Academy graduates, they are a huge part of our enrollment fairs. Many of them live and work in these areas. They know the folks there, so we're always happy to have them and other brokers as well at these fairs. And so we are in the midst of planning that and giving them an opportunity. All brokers have the opportunity to sign up for these fairs, but we're particularly excited when the Broker Academy students are present there as well. And finally, we've made some changes to the Broker Academy page, very small changes. We haven't picked out any dates for the program next year, but we did add a contact form to the page. And this is just our way of keeping folks engaged until we have the details for next year's program out, giving them an opportunity to email us quickly, ask any questions, and keeping the Broker Academy in mind even before the next class date. So we're always looking to make improvements on the website and the web page, and so this was a big ad for us, keeping people engaged so they can reach out at any time. And that's really all the updates I have for Broker Academy now. I'll open it up for any questions.
So, hey, Tammy, let me add a couple of items, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Number
Yes,
one,
please.
what we found out recently, we're tracking all of our Broker Academy graduates. Found out the top 5, the 5th highest broker selling through the exchange is one of our graduates from last year. So we're very proud of that, because this person is a great resource for his or her community. If they are enrolling that many people are going to them, they're answering questions, providing access to information, and also they're earning a very good living. If they are by being the 5th highest producer through the exchange. That's one. And one thing we've done since we started, we've always done open enrollment throughout the year. We always have brokers on our call center. And the brokers, when they're in the call center, they don't get a commission. So our call center vendor has to pay them a pretty competitive salary to make it attractive. We offered our employees the same program that we offer to the internally for the Broker Academy, and we have a number of our employees who have become brokers. And so we're going to use them instead of paying the call center over $200,000 to pay brokers. We're going to use our own employees who are licensed brokers now to backfill, to provide the guidance that's necessary. Obviously, our employees they would not be making a commission, but also we will use them along with our graduates from the Broker Academy to support the call center, and that's going to save us over $200,000 every year going forward. So I make you aware that the Broker Academy, the learning that we're putting the communities through, as well as our own employees, really paying dividend for us. And also, we are in the process. One item that I want to also mention is that we're going to be conducting a leaver survey. This is a survey of all of the folks. I think Carol and I mentioned, give an update on the Medicaid Unwind. Those folks who did not come back and re-enroll, whether they didn't re-enroll in Medicaid or QHP, we are doing a survey to find out why they didn't come back. And that survey is about $35,000. We are very close to securing a grant through the Connecticut Health Foundation to cover the entire course of the survey. I just want to put a little bit more context to those 2 items: the Broker Academy update as well as the Unwind. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I think as we see that ways in which business in the community, is really founded, or at least created under a philosophy that is a successful community, and those things not together. I mean, is really a listing value, and expression of it. I'm excited. I mean, and I think some of the other ways when we planted in order to promote public health, things that just really exciting. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I was having a little bit of difficulty hearing you, Mr. Chairman, but thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for those kind words.
Okay, so I am still here. I think we've went through a lot of these updates, the Medicaid Unwind updates, our monthly calls, our enrollment specialists are out there at Navigator location and community organizations assisting with enrollments. We also have fairs for the Medicaid Unwind. Things I'd like to highlight on the slide. Right now, you know, the Health Equity and Outreach Department has gone through some changes in the past 2 years. We're still a very new department within Access Health. And so it was interesting to see a comparison. We've grown our outreach team in-house, right? We've transitioned from using a vendor. And this year so far, we've attended 216 events, which is over 122% increase from the total events that we've done last year. And I think it speaks very highly of how dedicated and strategic the outreach team has been with connecting with community partners and really keeping engaged with communities throughout the state. So really happy, really proud of that increase, but we are working very hard at building meaningful relationships, not just going to events, not just passing out papers. It's having real conversations and connecting with consumers and different community organizations and helping them help their consumers. Another thing I'd like to add is we have our community conference coming up. You know, this community conference usually kicks off open enrollment for us. It's a great time for us to get our CACs, brokers, and community organizations ready for open enrollment with new updates. So that is coming up. We will be in New Haven for that conference. And we're really looking forward to doing one event this year. So if you remember last year, we did 3 separate regional events to keep it much smaller. But we wanted to encourage more collaboration, but we also wanted to be mindful of COVID. So this year we're going back to one event. I think we're slowly getting back into the groove of doing bigger events. And so we're looking forward to doing that. And this will be a little bit different of a setup than in past years. So we're doing one event. We are having other community organizations attend and set up tables, informational tables, so that they can network and collaborate as well. And we'll have breakout sessions giving updates. So folks will be able to choose what updates they want to hear. We want to be mindful of their time, but we also want to allow for plenty of time to network with each other and with Access Health staff. So we're really looking forward to the community conference this year. And last but not least, we have open enrollment fairs and locations. I mean, Katie did a really good overview. We have a lot of fairs and enrollment locations coming up. We've been doing fairs all summer because of the unwind, but of course for open enrollment, it'll get busier. So we have more planned. And so the updates I have for outreach, and happy to take any questions.
Thank you. There are no questions from anyone else.
Mr. Chair, we're having a little difficulty hearing you, but I just want to remind you that Dr. Willer joined us, so we do have a quorum to take any votes on action items that we have.
Thank you, Marcine. This is a motion then return back to our original agenda, and we entertain a motion 2023.
So moved. This is Grant. Move to accept.
And sorry, can someone just repeat, because for some reason Steve's feed is breaking up.
Mm-hmm.
If you wouldn't mind repeating what the motion was, so we have it on the record.
It's
Thank
a
you.
motion to approve the minutes from June 8th.
Thank you.
Is there a second?
Yeah,
Paul
Grant
Lombardo
seconded.
seconds.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, is there any discussion on the motion before us?
Questions on discussion on the motion that is rightfully before? Hearing, please do a roll call.
Steve Hernandez? Thank you. Grant Rader?
Yes, accept.
Paul Philpott? Paul Lombardo?
Yes.
And Matthew Brackman. Thank you. Motion passes. We will move over to the adjournment.
Here, conversation, no the presentation. Thank you so much. Could you please entertain a motion for adjournment?
Yes, move to adjourn. This is Grant.
Second,
there-
Paul Lombardo.
Call.
Yes, Steve Hernandez?
Yeah.
Grant Rader?
Yes,
Paul Philpott? Paul Lombardo?
Yes.
And Matthew Brackman. Thank you.
thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye now.